Hello everyone and welcome to another AdMaths tutorial video. Today I'm going to discuss Form 5 Additional Mathematics Chapter 2 Linear Law, Long Question Example 2. Before I begin, if you are new to any of my videos, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell as I'll be discussing more mathematics tutorial videos in the future. Alright guys, without further delay, let's jump to the question now. The table shows the experimental values of two variables x and y. So as you can see here, these are the values for the x, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Whereas for the y values, which is 2.1, 2.7, 4.5, 10.0, 11.2 and 16.5. It is known that x and y are related by an equation in the form h in a bracket x plus y minus p close bracket equals to px square, where h and p are constants. One of the values of y is incorrectly recorded. Draw the graph of x plus y against x square using a scale of 2 cm to 5 units on the x square axis and 2 cm to 2 units on the x plus y axis. So, for the question part B, from your graph, find the values of y that is incorrectly recorded and determine its actual value and the value of h and p. Alright guys, I hope you will attempt this question in the future. If you could manage to solve this question, well done guys. But if you can't solve this question, no worries, I'm going to show you the step-by-step working and the solutions now. I hope you guys are excited as I am. Let's proceed to the solutions now. Okay, to start off, the first step we need to do is change the nonlinear equation to a linear form. In this case, our nonlinear equation is h in a bracket x plus y minus p equals to px square. So this is the nonlinear equation. So what we need to do is we need to change this nonlinear equation to a linear form. Okay, I'm going to show you the step-by-step working now. Okay, I literally rewrite the whole equation here. H bracket x plus y minus p close bracket equals to px square. So for the next step, what I'm going to do is I'll be dividing the whole equation by h. Okay, which I'll get x plus y minus p equals to px square over h. So in the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the negative p, which is in the left hand side, to the right hand side. So from here you get x plus y equals to px square over h plus p. But this is not the final form guys. You still need to change it into a straight line equation form, which is also known as y equals to mx plus c form. Okay. So this is the y equals to mx plus c form, which is x plus y equals to p over h x square plus p. So your x plus y will act as a y-axis. So your p over h will act as a gradient of the graph. Your x square will be function as a x-axis and your p will be function as a y-intercept. So guys, we have already successfully converted the nonlinear equation to a linear form. Alright guys, let's move to the next step. Okay, once we already convert the nonlinear equation to a linear form, so the next step is to draw a new table consisting of x plus y and x square values. In the question, they've already given us two values, which is x and y. So from there, we need to create a new table with two tables which consist of x plus y values and x square value. So I'm going to show you the example how I get the x plus y value. It's very simple guys. This x value 1, you just plus with 2.1, so that's how you get 3.1. And the same things goes for the next one, 2 plus 2.7, and that's how you get 4.7. And go for the rest of the values. So the x square is very simple. The x value, you just square them up. So that's how you get the 1, 4, 9 and so on. Okay, once you've already successfully draw a new table consists of x plus y and x square value, so now you can successfully draw the graph of the x plus y axis versus x square axis. By the way guys, I've already drawn the graph which I'm going to show you in a while. Okay, we have already completed the part A solution. Let's proceed to the part B solution. Okay, the part B solution, we need to find the correct value of y, because what the question tell is one of the y value is incorrectly labeled based on what we plotted from the graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the graph now. Okay, so this is the graph of x plus y versus x square. I've already plotted for you guys, so which you can try and attempt by yourself later on. If you don't know, you can refer back to this video. So this is the x plus y axis, and this is the x square axis. Okay, as you see over here, all the lines are perfectly aligned except for this point, which is 16, 14. So this point is already offset to the graph. So we need to find the correct line, the correct point. So how are we going to find the correct point? So very simple, guys. So what I do is I use a short ruler. Okay, so from here I use a pencil. So for now I'm just using a pen, but when you're plotting a graph, you have to use a pencil, guys. So you just pull it down, okay, until it intersect with the point. So from the point, and then you pull it up to the left side of the axis. So from here you get the correct value, which is 1611.4. Your x-axis doesn't change, but your y-axis do change. So from the incorrect value 14, you get the correct value, which is 11.4. So we already get the correct coordinate, guys. So back to the question. So from the graph, so the y incorrect is equals to 14 when x equals to 16. Thus the correct value of y is y correct is equals to 11.4. So as we mentioned from the graph. Okay. Alright, guys. So let's move on to the last question, where the question asks to find the value of h and p. So to find the value of h and p, we need to proceed with the step 4, which is to find the gradient and y-intercept from the graph. Okay, guys, in the straight line equation form, as we have solved in the earlier of the question, so p is actually gives a y-intercept value. So how are we going to find the y-intercept value? So we need to back to the graph paper, guys. So if you look closely over here, so 2.5 is the intersection point. Okay, so from here y-intercept is equals to 2.5. This is the base on the graph. So when you compare it to the straight line linear equation form, so p is actually is the y-intercept. So therefore your y-intercept is equals to p, and p is equals to 2.5. So that's how you get your y-intercept, guys. So let's move on to the gradient. Okay, to find the gradient is very simple. So from the graph, you use y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so what I did is, so I choose one of the point over here, 31.5, 20, and then 13.5, 10. Okay, basically you can choose any point from within the straight line graph, guys. It's up to you, but make sure that your graph, your triangle is big enough so that you will get a more accurate result. Okay, so what I did is, so use a short ruler. Okay, and take a pencil maybe, and then you just use your pencil and then pull it over here, and then intersect to the straight line graph, and then you form a triangle, and from here you find the gradient of the graph. So gradient of the graph will be 20 minus 10, which is your y2 minus y1, divided by x2 minus x1, which is 31.5 minus 13.5. So when you compare with your straight line equation, which is p over h, so from the question we've already find the answer for the p, which is 2.5. So what we can do is we can substitute this 2.5 into this gradient equation. Okay, so let's move to the next step. So from here we get 2.5 over h is equals to 5 over 9. So and then you get your final answer. H is equals to 4 over 5. Sorry guys, H is equals to 4.5. Okay, so that's all for my working. Alright guys, I'm just going to give you a small tip on how do you draw your linear graph. So basically what I'm having now is a short ruler and a long ruler, of course. Okay, so I advise you to use a long ruler when you want to draw your graph paper. You want to draw your straight line graph. So at least it will be easier for you to plot your graph and draw your graph rather than use your short ruler. When you use your short ruler, chances that your straight line graph will be inaccurate is high. So I strongly recommend you to use a long ruler. Okay, alright guys, that is all for my discussion of step-by-step working and solution for this question. Any question or feedback, feel free to put in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. Thank you everyone for your support, and I will see you in the next video.